Okay, our next thing we're going to be doing, I have 4 questions that I'm going to be asking. When I ask these questions, one or all 4 of the individuals up here on the panel will have the opportunity to answer the question. When we're done with these 4 questions, then we will actually open it up as time permits to the floor. So the first question, focusing on volunteering and collaboration in the community. Lynette, my wife, and I went over to Switzerland, and one of our favorite places was Geneva. And in Geneva is the headquarters of the American Red Cross. Henry Dunant, the founder of the Red Cross and winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1901, said, "Do not take actions only for recognition. Be willing to act because you believe in what you are doing." Let me repeat that one more time. Henry Dunant said, "Do not take actions only for recognition. Be willing to act because you believe in what you are doing." The question is, are corporate volunteer opportunities used to increase business recognition or marketing, increase employee engagement, actually serve the nonprofit, or something else?
I'll take that one. In terms of, first of all, I believe the 2 greatest benefits are increasing employee engagement and serving the nonprofit. In terms of increasing employee engagement, let me give you an example. At Four Seasons, once a month, we serve meals at Caritas. On a weekly basis, we have multiple teams that go out in pairs of 2 and serve Meals on Wheels. Both incredible programs. But as a human resources director, I think something else happens in that process. People get a chance to spend some time with each other and bond in the process. I know my Meals on Wheels partner, for example. You know, we don't interact that much on a weekly basis, but that Meals on Wheels time that we have together really serves that purpose. So it gives employees a chance to get away from the workplace and kind of connect in a way that they might not have inside the workplace. The second item, in terms of serving the nonprofit, you know, when we first started serving meals at Caritas, Caritas is located downtown. They serve meals throughout the week. And as a group, we take about 10 or 12 of our employees and go down there and prepare the meals and actually serve the meals. And what I'm always struck by is the need for that in the community and how close most people are to that need. A lot of people going through the line, they don't necessarily look poor or in need, but they are, and it reminds me every time of how close people really are to that. And I can't help but wonder, you know, how many people going through that line, there's got to be at least one or a few of them going through that line for the very, very first time. And so I think it reminds us all of why we're there. In terms of increasing business recognition, yes, you do get business recognition for it, but I don't think that that is the reason why we do it.
Well, I'll take a whack at it as well. And similar to that, again, community involvement is a value of the company, and it's really something our employees expect. If you're trying to attract companies to work for you, you want to make sure you are involved, that you are a good corporate citizen. That's what they want to work for, and that's increasingly more so with the younger generation. And it's also a great way to retain employees. So, but the main reason we get involved is simply to help out the community. I mean, we can't solve the problems ourselves, nor can government, nor can nonprofits. It really is a collaborative effort. So we do our part to pitch in. Also, we do it to help the nonprofit. Obviously, they can't deliver services unless they get support from individuals and companies like ours. Third is the employee, and then similar to what Bryan said, there's a great experience that an employee retains when he or she goes out to volunteer in the community. There is the team building aspect, the collaboration, and working inside the company, it's not always, there are times when it's not always so collaborative. So it's good to get people out at a food bank, for example. That's one of the favorite places for our employees to go. Not just their own team, but they'll go with teams that they're working with. Maybe it's a product development project or a product launch, and go with those teams and go out and do something in the community, and they bond a whole lot better than they do inside the company, and that helps them moving forward. And as far as the marketing, there's nothing wrong with letting people know what you do. It does, add to your brand and to your reputation, but that's not the main reason you do it. But if you get benefit from it, that's great, and that will hopefully encourage other companies to get involved as well. So there's no shame in marketing to it, as long as you do it tastefully and with class. And the other thing is, a lot of groups out there, they want to know what you're doing in the community. They don't want you to be silent about it, so there's no shame in that.
Thank you. Our second question focuses on donations to nonprofits. I'm a management consultant, and years ago I met another management consultant in a competing company, and he left that organization. He's now the executive director of Greenlights. His name's Matt Curry. He's up on the 3rd floor right now. His organization, Greenlights, works with nonprofits. They partnered up with United Way this year, and they did a survey, and they found that 66% of Austin nonprofits have experienced an increase in demand. However, 54% experienced a drop in contributions. So right now in this economy, we have an increase in demand at nonprofits, but yet a drop in the actual contributions, meaning that 18% may be forced to cease operations. So the question is, as a business leader, what are we called upon to do during this economic downturn when demand is up and resources are down? And the flip question, or the add-on question to that is, do you actually measure the financial return on charitable donations?
Well, that's definitely true. Our donation requests are up 30 to 40% this year, and one of the reasons is there's just fewer people to grant them. The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I think in times like this, it's an opportunity for those who have been blessed to step up and take up the slack, that we need to do more now than we ever would.
I agree with that. I'd also add that just in terms of what we're called on to do in times like this is, from our perspective, is of the groups that we partner with, is give them as much visibility as we can on what we're going to be able to do and how we're going to be able to do that. In our case, it's not always a financial contribution that we are adding or partnering with the group to provide. So, we just communicate a lot so that we can help our partners fulfill their goals any way we can. The other thing I'd add to that, in terms of the question about do you measure that financial contributions or what you do, and we really don't. We don't see it as marketing or advertising. We see it as a gift that we've been given, and we're just doing what we feel like is on our hearts to do, and it's an opportunity and a blessing to do that. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with monitoring what you get back, but we're just not set up to do it and aren't looking at that.
I guess all I would add to the measurement question, I don't even know if it's possible to accurately measure it. I think you just do it because it's the right thing, and you pretty much leave it at that.
One other thing I wanted to add in terms of more need and fewer resources, what I've seen with employee campaigns is, instead of a small group of people that you kind of normally depend on to give the most, I see a larger group of people just giving what they can.
Just to close on that, on the measurement part, no, we record. We find out how many employees volunteer. We keep track of our contributions and report those results in a corporate responsibility report every year. But we're not looking to make the investment and see what it necessarily comes back to the company. And as far as when times are bad, and I can tell you right now, our industry, the semiconductor industry, is very cyclical. Our competitive environment is very cyclical as well. We have one competitor, which is Intel, and they're pretty tough. But we always give, and we never give up. But we do give less. We expect to The rest of the company is squeezing every dollar, so we do in kind, but we never give up. During good times and bad, we're always there in some form or fashion.